and welcome everyone learning English with the English with Narayana channel. We're diving deep today, looking at something I'm sure many of you have wondered about. Can you really learn English if you only study for 15 minutes each day? We're going to explore that idea, see what's possible. So stick with us, and we'll find out if 15 minutes is enough, how long it might take to actually speak well, and the best way to use that short amount of time. Now, if you're learning English, this one's especially for you. We want to help you find ways to learn that fit into your busy life, and we'll keep things nice and clear so you can understand easily.
Absolutely. It's all about finding those little pockets of time, right?
Yeah.
And making them count. Because, a lot of people think learning English is this huge task that needs hours and hours. So 15 minutes a day, that sounds much more doable. But the question is, can you really make progress with such short bursts of study?
Right, so that's where we'll start. Can 15 minutes of study each day actually work? And from what we've seen, the answer seems to be yes. Short, regular practice can be more effective than those longer sessions that you just can't seem to fit in regularly. So it's more about consistency and making those 15 minutes really count.
Exactly. It's quality over quantity. The key is to use those 15 minutes in a way that really focuses your learning. So not just passively looking at words, but actively trying to understand and use them. And what's great about studying for a short time each day is that it helps you build that all-important habit.
And habits are everything when it comes to learning something new, aren't they? Those daily check-ins keep you engaged with English, help make it a part of your routine. Plus, it prevents you from getting overwhelmed or burnt out, which can so easily happen if you try to cram too much into one sitting.
Right. It's like practicing a musical instrument. It's better to practice a little bit every day than to have one super long practice session once a week. And our brains actually learn better in shorter bursts. It helps with memory and retention.
Makes sense. And let's be real, finding 15 minutes in your day is a lot easier than finding a full hour. You could squeeze it in before work, during your lunch break, before bed. Lots of possibilities. So while 15 minutes a day may not make you fluent overnight, it's definitely a fantastic starting point to develop those solid learning habits.
Couldn't agree more. And it's important to keep in mind that language learning, it's a journey, not a sprint. 15 minutes a day is a wonderful way to start and to stay consistent. But fluency, that takes dedication and consistent effort over time.
So speaking of time, many of our listeners are probably wondering, if you study for 15 minutes every day, about how long will it take to actually speak English well? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And listeners, if you have any guesses, tell us in the comments. How long would it take you?
That's a great question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But we can look at the CEFR levels, which show different levels of language proficiency. So let's say you start as a beginner at level A1, and you want to reach a basic conversational level A2. With consistent 15-minute daily study sessions, that could take around 7 to 10 months, which translates to about 100 to 150 hours of total study time.
Okay, so we're looking at almost a year to reach a basic level. What kinds of things can someone do at that A2 level?
At A2, you can understand and respond to simple questions, talk about yourself and your family in a basic way, and you can even order food in a restaurant, which is always a useful skill.
Very handy indeed. And what about moving beyond that basic level? How long would it take to reach the next stage?
So to progress from A2 to a level where you can have more comfortable everyday conversations, that's B1. This could take a bit longer, 3 to 4 years, with a total study time of around 300 to 400 hours. At B1, you'll be able to discuss things you like, your hobbies, and talk about everyday events.
Okay, so that's the conversational level, right? What about getting to a more fluent, confident level? How long would that take?
Moving from B1 to a more comfortable level, which is B2, that takes another 2 to 3 years, or about 200 to 250 hours. At B2, you can usually talk about a wide range of everyday topics without too much difficulty. You can talk about work, travel, share your opinions. It's a level many people aim for.
That sounds like a great goal to have. And what about becoming very advanced in English? What does that path look like?
So to go from B2 to a very advanced level, that's C1, it could take another 3 to 4 years, requiring about 300 to 400 hours of additional study. It's a longer commitment. But remember, if you can dedicate even just 30 minutes a day instead of 15, you could potentially cut that learning time in half.
That's a great point. So even a small increase in study time can make a big difference in the long run.
Absolutely. And it's not just about formal study either. Immersing yourself in English through movies, music, talking with English speakers, all of that helps speed up the process. The more you use the language, the faster you learn. To reach that conversational fluency around B2 level, it might take at least 2 to 3 years if you're studying for 15 minutes a day.
Okay, that gives us a good understanding of the timeline. But now, let's talk about those 15 minutes. How can someone make the most of that limited study time each day?
Having a plan is crucial. You want to make every minute count. So here's a plan you can follow, a different focus for each day of the week.
Sounds interesting. What should our listeners focus on each day?
So day one is all about speaking. Try talking about your day in English. You can even talk to yourself. It might feel a little strange at first, but it's great practice. You can also record yourself and listen back to see how you sound. And try practicing some common English phrases, the kind you would use in everyday conversations.
Great start. What about day two? What's on the agenda?
Day two is for listening. This is where you can put on your favorite English podcasts, like English with Narayana. And here's a tip. Try to repeat some of the key phrases after the speakers. It's great for improving your pronunciation. By the way, we'd love to know, what are your favorite English podcasts? Tell us in the comments.
Awesome. Okay, day three. What should we be working on?
Day three is all about vocabulary.
Yeah.
Choose a theme and try to learn 5 to 10 new words related to that theme. It could be words about food, your house, anything you're interested in. And a really helpful technique is something called spaced repetition. There are apps that can help you with this. Basically, you review words at spaced intervals to really cement them in your memory.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially for remembering new words. Okay, what's next? Day four.
Day four is for reading. Grab an English news article, a blog post, anything that catches your eye. And as you read, jot down any new words, look up their meanings. It's a great way to expand your vocabulary and to see how words are used in context.
I love that. Reading is such a powerful tool for language learning. What about day five?
Day five is grammar and writing time. Pick one simple grammar rule and really focus on understanding it. For example, you could learn how to use is, am, and are correctly, and then put that knowledge into practice by writing a few sentences using that rule.
That's a great way to make grammar stick. Okay, day six. What's the plan?
Day six, we're going to combine speaking with a technique called shadowing. Shadowing means listening to someone speaking English and trying to say exactly what they say at the same time. It's like you're their shadow. And try to use some of the new vocabulary you learned during the week in a short conversation, even if it's just with yourself.
Shadowing. That sounds like a fun way to improve pronunciation and fluency. And finally, what about day seven? How do we wrap up the week?
Day seven is review day. Look back at everything you've learned throughout the week. You could have a short conversation in English with a friend who's also learning, or even use a language learning app that lets you practice speaking. It's all about reinforcing that knowledge.
I love this plan. It seems like a really effective way to use those 15 minutes every day.
It is. And here's an extra tip. If you can, try to sprinkle in some more English throughout your day. Listen to English music, watch a short English video, even just try thinking in English for a few minutes. Every little bit adds up.
That's great advice. Now, I'm curious, if someone sticks to this 15-minute-a-day plan, can they expect to be able to talk about absolutely any topic in English?
Well, those daily 15-minute sessions will definitely build a solid foundation of English skills, no doubt about that. But if you want to be able to discuss very complex or specialized topics, you'll likely need to invest a bit more time in your learning.
So it's more about building up to those more challenging conversations. What kinds of topics can someone realistically handle with consistent 15-minute daily study?
If you reach that A2 or B1 level, you'll be able to discuss everyday topics without much trouble. Things like travel, shopping, meeting new people. You can have simple conversations about these things.
And what about when you reach that B2 level? What expands in terms of conversation topics?
At B2, you can start sharing your opinions, discussing your ideas, and even talk about things related to your work or hobbies. You'll have a broader range of topics you can understand and discuss.
And if you want to delve into those more complex, abstract ideas?
If you reach the C1 level, that's where you can discuss more abstract concepts like politics or philosophy and other advanced topics. You'll have a really strong command of the language by then. But to get there, it does take more dedicated time and practice. So if you truly want to be able to converse effortlessly about any topic under the sun, then aiming for 30 to 60 minutes of daily study will help you reach that goal faster.
Okay, so while 15 minutes is an amazing starting point and will equip you to discuss many things, reaching that ultimate level of fluency where you can talk about absolutely anything with ease, that might require a bit more time and dedication.
You got it. But don't be discouraged. 15 minutes a day is still an incredible commitment and a fantastic way to make progress.
So let's wrap up with the big question. Is studying for just 15 minutes a day worth it?
Absolutely. Even if it takes a bit longer to become fluent than studying for hours on end, those daily 15-minute sessions are incredibly valuable. It's all about that consistency. If you keep at it, you will see results over time.
What about those who are just starting their English learning journey? Can they benefit from just 15 minutes a day?
Oh, definitely. If you're just starting out, you'll be amazed at the progress you can make in just a few months with consistent 15-minute study sessions. You'll begin to understand more, and you'll start to be able to express yourself in simple ways.
And what if someone already has some English knowledge under their belt?
If you already have a basic grasp of English, then 15 minutes a day will help you refine those skills, boost your confidence, and expand your knowledge even further. You'll solidify what you already know and add new elements to your repertoire.
And for those who are already quite proficient in English?
Even for those who are already fluent, 15 minutes a day can be a fantastic way to keep your skills sharp, to make sure you don't lose what you've worked so hard to achieve. It's like any skill. Practice keeps you at the top of your game. And the most important thing is that consistency. If you stick to those 15 minutes every day, you will undoubtedly see results.
It sounds like 15 minutes a day is a winning formula for anyone learning English, regardless of their current level. Thank you so much for breaking this down so clearly.
My pleasure. It's important for people to know that even small, consistent efforts can lead to big results in language learning.
Absolutely. So to answer our initial question, yes, you absolutely can learn English by studying for just 15 minutes a day. It's a journey that requires time and smart use of those minutes, but progress is definitely within reach. Now, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? Have you tried learning English with short study bursts? Tell us all about your experiences in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And if you found this deep dive helpful and you want to learn more about improving your English, be sure to subscribe to the English with Narayana channel. We have loads of resources to support you on your learning journey. And remember, listening to podcasts like this one is a fantastic way to practice your English. Keep learning, keep listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.